Hello and welcome to Newsroom series on Channels Television. I'm Ayotunde Balogun. Today our focus is on the north central part of the country. But before that, let's give you our top stories for the day. Palace chiefs from different groups, members of the Benin royal family, priests, priestesses, Benin sons and daughters, friends and indeed well-wishers of the Oba of Benin have turned up at the premises of the Edo State High Court, Sapele Road, in a show of solidarity with the Oba and the palace. This follows the institution of a legal action against the Oba by two suspended In Niger, otherwise known as dukes. Now the door to the courtroom where the matter is assigned remains locked as no one has been allowed in. Some chiefs are said to have been granted entrance into the courtroom through another door. Meanwhile, the Edo State government has clarified that it has no case in court against its royal father, Omanoba Nedo Kuakbolokbolo Oba Iware II, the Oba of Benin. In a statement signed by the governor's special advisor on media projects, Mr. Kroso Osage, the government says the rumor making the rounds on social media of an impending court case is the handiwork of enemies of the state and should be disregarded. Providing further explanation, the government says, as a matter of fact, in the matter being referenced by the purveyors of the fake news, Edo State government is a defendant, which means the state government is being sued as well. The governor's media aide adds that the state government maintains a cordial relationship with the royal palace and holds its paramount traditional ruler in high esteem. To the National Assembly, where the House of Representatives has passed a resolution to investigate the procurement process in the award of the contract for the Lagos-Calabar Coastal Road. The House says the 2007 Procurement Act was violated and certain approvals by the National Assembly as required by law were not given. The House is asking the Minister of Works, Finance, Attorney General and Minister of Justice to avail the National Assembly copies of the documents for award of the contract. Former Aviation Minister Hadi Sirika at the High Court of the Federal Capital Territory has pleaded not guilty to the alleged corrupt practices involving about 2.7 billion brought against him by the federal government. Mr. Sirika was arraigned before Justice Silvanus Orji along with his daughter Fatima, his son-in-law Jalal Sulehama and a firm Al Burak Global Investment Limited. The daughter and son-in-law also pleaded not guilty to the 6-count charges when read to them. Following their denial of the fraud charges, their respective lawyers moved applications for their bail, which was granted by the judge. Justice Oriji admitted the 3 defendants on bail in the sum of 100 million naira and 2 sureties each in like sum. The sureties must be responsible citizens with verifiable home address, while one of them must have landed property with a certificate of occupancy signed by the FCT minister. The judge then ordered that the defendants must not travel out of the country without express permission of the court. If unable to perfect the bail conditions, Justice Oriji ordered that they should be remanded in prison custody till the time of perfection of their bail conditions. The court then fixed June the 10th for commencement of trial. The Minister of Steel Development, Shuaib Abubakar Audu, says the federal government will soon roll out a 10-year development plan for the steel sector, including establishing industrial parks within the Ajaokuta Steel Company. He disclosed this in Ilorin, the Kwara State capital, when he paid an official visit to one of the largest indigenous steel industries in Nigeria.
As part of efforts to encourage and support the growth of local industries, the Minister of Steel Development is in Kwara State to visit one of the largest indigenous steel industries located in Jimbaoja on the outskirts of Ilorin, the Kwara State capital. The steel sector plays a critical role in economic development as it provides the materials needed to build infrastructure and serves as a bedrock of industrialization. The minister and his team inspect the different facilities and seems impressed with the huge investment in the indigenous steel industry.
We have been engaging with industry players across the steel sector since I came into office more than 8 months ago. And I decided, as part of our objectives in turning around the economy, to visit the leading indigenous steel production company in Nigeria. The president, under his Renewed Hope agenda, wants to continue to encourage local producers and local players.
An industrialist on the inspection team highlights some of the potentials of the Ajaokuta Steel Company.
Ajaokuta is one of our heritage assets that if we get it right, I can tell you, we have a complete car making that named in Nigeria, made in Nigeria, in Ajaokuta. But we have to know exactly how to get it right. If we get the primary one right, I tell you, in a shorter time, 1,000 of industry will spring off around Ajaokuta. Ajaokuta is a hub that we can call a steel hub in Nigeria.
At the Government House, the state governor urged the federal government to urgently find solutions to the moribund Ajaokuta steel industry to enhance the economic base of the steel sector, as there is the need to get it right this time around, and the minister assures of efforts being made to correct the situation.
As you know, Ajaokuta is an albatross which we are very confident to untie the issues there and make that industry come to fruition. But without getting the steel sector right, we will not be able to achieve that. The rolling mills, the flat mills, the car industry will never take off in Nigeria without that sector, without us getting that sector right, which I'm very confident we will get it right under your tenure as the minister.
Industrialization has the capacity to create hundreds of thousands and even millions of jobs. Mr. President wants to provide more than 80 million jobs for Nigerians, and the steel industry is going to play a very, very key role in that regard. So under the 8-point agenda of Mr. President, certain things have to be put in place to ensure that Nigeria is working for Nigerians.
When fully tapped, the metal and steel sector is expected to facilitate industrialization and massive employment opportunities.
The Minister of Water Resources and Sanitation, Professor Joseph Yutsev, and Governor Abdullahi Sule of Nasarawa State are forging a partnership that will enhance water supply, irrigation, livestock production, and energy generation. The minister made the revelation during a meeting with the governor at the ministry in Abuja.
The Minister of Water Resources and Sanitation, Professor Joseph Yutsev, is meeting Governor Abdullahi Sule of Nasarawa State as part of efforts to collaborate to boost food production in the country. This is the third meeting between both men, and the governor is clear about possible areas of partnership.
Abdullahi was the first person to come up with the idea, of hydropower. But unfortunately, there was no road to the area. So it became a very difficult project to do, and even the waterfalls being a tourist attraction.
The Minister of Water Resources and Sanitation starts by assuring the governor of plans to complete the dams in the state. He also announces plans for partnership with the state government.
We are going to leave no stone unturned. See, not only Nasarawa State, but the whole entire country, Nigeria benefits and get the dividends of democracy for the Renewed Hope agenda of Mr. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. In your submission, you mentioned the issue of Doma Dam. Doma Dam, we are aware of Doma Dam. And from our meager budgetary provisions, we have not let out Doma Dam. From the north-central Nigeria, we have considered Doma Dam as a priority project that, if completed, and where established, it will not only provide the water supply component, but the hydropower component will also be established, along with the education facilities that are there.
The Nasarawa state government is confident that the partnership will improve water supply in the state.
Governor Hyacinth Alia of Benue State has approved the construction of 50 township and rural roads that will connect farmers to urban markets to help improve agricultural value chain in the state. Governor Alia made this known at the stakeholders meeting of the All Progressives Congress led by the acting chairman, Mr. Benjamin Omakolo, where he tied his development plans to the need to institute a new security outfit that will incorporate existing outfits to cater to the security needs of farming communities. 16 township roads constructed by the Alia administration since assuming office 11 months ago have all been asphalted as work on the Makodi and Boko flyovers are ongoing. Impressed by the support from stakeholders who have rallied round his administration following political disagreements within the party, these leaders from the All Progressives Congress converged in Government House to review his administration's efforts. The acting chairman of the party, loyal to the governor, Mr. Benjamin Omakolo, in his address, called for a united front to achieve more growth.
It is only idle-minded, mischievous or misguided individuals that have created and are spreading the wrong and misleading narrative that Fadalia and the APC structure in Benue State are working at cross purpose, with the aim of pitching the leaders of the party against themselves.
Addressing the stakeholders, the governor says 50 more roads will be constructed within 12 months to support rural-urban economic activities.
The Minister of Works is working on roads amounting up to 50 roads all over the state that must be completed in the next 12 months. Two days ago, an interconnectivity of road network was pronounced that will cut across from Vanika all through to Ushongo and then back to Konshisha and then leaves us on the highway that takes us to Gwe East. And this is the kind of the connectivity we're going to do in all the local governments.
He adds that the new security outfit will be launched in May to support farming communities.
We are going to launch a security outfit that will bring up to 10,000 of our dear people who love the state, the livestock guard, our vigilantes that have volunteered to be there for the rest of us. We have made provision of Hilux trucks and motorbikes and all other logistics for them to work very effectively.
One of the leaders of the party, Senator Barnabas Kimade, lauds the Alia administration and urges him to ignore those imposing their will on his administration.
As an elder, I want to tell you that we are greatly happy with what we have seen. It is only people who are living yesterday that are worrying about the faces they are seeing today and keep saying, let us continue to see the people of yesterday.
Investment in critical infrastructure like roads, bridges and public schools by the Hyacinth Alia administration has seen rapid changes on the Benue landscape in the last 11 months. So let's head to Plateau, where as a means of mitigating the cost of intra-city travel and providing respite from the daily transportation challenges commuters face in the metropolis, the Plateau State government has introduced the Metro Urban Transportation Initiative. Now, the Transportation Initiative, according to Governor Caleb Mutfwang, is a catalyst for community development, which is expected to generate between 50 to 1,000 job opportunities, or 500, to 1,000 job opportunities, as well as fueling economic growth and fostering development across the state, all in addition to highly subsidized costs.
Keep us glued to our seats as we make more recall.
The Metro Urban Transportation Initiative, for a start, has 15 state-of-the-art manned diesel buses with a 44-seat capacity and room for standing, as well as provision for the physically challenged, and 5 coaster buses of 26 passengers to ply the Jos Bukuru metropolis.
The Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit.
Performing the launch of the buses, Plateau State Governor Caleb Mutfwang expresses confidence that the initiative will go a long way towards improving the living conditions of citizens.
The unveiling of the 10th City Metro Urban Transportation Initiative. At the core of this initiative is our unwavering commitment to improving the daily lives of our people. This is what led us to procure 15 state-of-the-art manned diesel buses, a move aimed at mitigating the cost of intracity travel and providing a respite from the daily transportation challenges our commuters face.
The buses, which are to ply major roads within the metropolis, have been designed to bring succor to citizens, as was explained during the launch by government officials.
Today, we are witnessing the commissioning of 15 number diesel buses, as well as 2 coaster buses for intra-city mass transit to assuage growing plight of Plateau citizens occasioned by the removal of fuel subsidy.
One of the key features is the use of reusable smart cards for ticketing. These cards not only promote environmental sustainability, but reducing paper waste, but also offer enhanced security through advanced encryption and authentication protocols.
With the high cost of fuel leading up to increase in transportation and other commodities, some residents of Jos express satisfaction and gladness for the transportation initiative.
We stand to gain a lot, especially to go out now, especially to terminals. You need to spend like 600, 500, but with the buses available, at least you can, it's 200 fare. You can go anywhere, do your thing and come back. People going to school, work and all.
As the government continues to provide succor to citizens in the aspect of transportation, citizens should cooperate by ensuring that no sharp practices are encouraged or any form of sabotage that might affect the effectiveness of the initiative.
In Niger State, Governor Umar Bago says that the state government is working out short and long-term solutions to the annual flood disaster in the state, which include the construction of 100,000 housing units to relocate flood-prone communities and those displaced by insecurity and other natural disasters. The governor was speaking at the handing over of the federal government-approved assorted food commodities for poor and vulnerable people to cushion the high cost of food items in the country.
Where we come from, you get to the end,
Niger State in north-central Nigeria is not immune to flooding disasters, with communities taking over owing to their proximity to large water bodies. And with Niger State, one of the high-risk states for 2024 as predicted by NIMET, the government is setting up a committee to design short and long-term solutions to the perennial problem.
In the short term, we would talk to them on advocacy. In the long term and medium term, we are already in conjunction with the Federal Housing Authority and even NEMA to find a lasting solution, which will start from reconstruction or construction of houses across the state. We are ambitious to build 100,000 houses to relocate communities that have been ravaged by insecurity and natural disaster, and also to relocate or to rebuild some communities that were destroyed by insecurity.
There's an ongoing sensitization of states at risk of flooding by the National Emergency Management Agency. The team is in Niger State to work out modalities on how to reduce the impact on communities.
Identify high grounds for possible internally displaced persons to shelter evacuated communities. Desilting of river channels and canals. Removing all refuse and weeds from water channels, drainages, and all avenues for river runoffs, so as to allow free flow of floodwaters.
Meanwhile, 3 local government areas of Mokwa, Lapai, and Kacha in Niger State are already beginning to experience early onset of flash flooding and heavy windstorms. Director General of Niger State Emergency Management Agency, Abdullahi Babara, says the early signals shows there's a lot more work needed to be done as the agency intensifies its campaign to communities along the flood-prone areas.
Every critical stakeholders that have something to do with effort in combating this calamity, we must come together to work.
Severe weather conditions such as flooding and windstorms lead to death and displacement in affected communities where residents are already experiencing economic hardship. The state government is distributing maize, sorghum, millet, and other items to reduce the burden on families.
Ahead of the commissioning of a 4,000 metric tons per day capacity lithium processing factory in Nasarawa State, Governor Abdullahi Sule is assuring investors in the state of their safety. He says security presence has been beefed up in the area, which has also enhanced agricultural activities in the state. Governor Sule stated this in an interview with State House correspondents shortly after paying the visit to Vice President Kashim Shettima at the Presidential Villa, Abuja.
It took us a while to be able to stabilize the area. First and foremost, they had a very bad road leading to the areas where some of the bandits, kidnappers also were actually settling down. We now constructed a major road in the area. And the federal government also constructed the major road, that comes all the way from Benue into Nasarawa State, which most of the transporters from the eastern part of the country are actually using at the moment. So because of that, we also established what you call military super camp in the area. So there is presence of military in the area. And so there is all those kind of kidnappers, bandits, and so have all left. We don't have any as far as that area is concerned. Nasarawa State is always considered, as one of the, safest states actually to do agriculture and other things. Now, coming back to the agriculture that you have mentioned, since the past 2-3 years, Nasarawa State has been leading in so many areas of agriculture. Today, I'm happy to tell you that we are #1 in sesame farming in the whole federation. Nobody does more than that. We are #2 in yam production throughout the country. We are #2 in cassava throughout the country, and we are #5 in rice production. So if people are not going to farms, we will not be achieving these kind of numbers.
The Niger State Command of the Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps has arrested 4 suspects for alleged genital mutilation, gang raping of minors, and other criminal acts in the Pandogari town of Rafi local government area of the state. The State Deputy Commandant of the Corps, Mr. Abdulhamid Kabara, made this disclosure in Mina, the Niger State capital. Mr. Kabara said they were nabbed through a verifiable intelligence gathering mechanism put in place by the Divisional Command. He adds that the investigation is ongoing to arrest other persons who are involved in the criminal act. The case has been transferred to the Intelligence and Investigation Department of the Command for further details.
Even when one of the soldiers told us it's 5,000 that he used, he said that one Baba, that means Babalao, is the one who promised him that when he get a male genital, small boy genital, he will use it to make a kind of concoction for you that will prevent bullets or matches to penetrate him. The next question is, the investigation doesn't stop here. That Baba will fish for him and we will get him.
Students in Kogi State have commended Governor Usman Ododo's achievements since his assumption of office in January 2024 in the areas of welfare packages for students and the youth. They believe the state government's efforts in resuscitating the bursary scheme for students will go a long way in cushioning the current economic hardship. Other achievements commended include the construction of a 350-bed hostel in the Confluence University of Science and Technology.
His Excellency mentioned in the glass house during the function that students and youth subvention will be paid in arrears, and he has matched words with actions because the student subventions were paid and that of the youths. His Excellency did not stop there. The infrastructural development on our campuses, notably in Confluence University of Technology, Osara, the awarding of the 350-bedroom hostels for each of the male and female students of the school, which has also commenced. And His Excellency has been doing much more for us. This 100 days in office, His Excellency has done a lot. How much more during the completion of his tenure?
And that's Newsroom series. Many thanks for watching. I'm Ayotunde Balogun.